two wonderful ISL students. Of course, we can't forget the school counselor, Jonathan. Yeah. Well, those are the seats we are going to take. So could you all please? Yeah, just. Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah. Jonathan, would you mind sitting next to Dr. Asko, please? Yeah. Apologies there. So, good evening and salam alaikum to you all. Welcome to the 73rd episode of the weekly virtual Big B Meetup, the 4th episode of the virtual real Big B Meetup, and the 10th episode of Big B Meetup, Qatar's popular community outreach initiative, founded in 2018. And in 2020, the pandemic brought about its virtual and virtual real editions. It aims to inspire, to inform, to educate, and bring communities together. It is inspired by the people of Qatar, both local and expatriate, and dedicated to my mother, who started off her career as a teacher. Today, we celebrate World Environment Day. Well, it was actually yesterday, but hey, we need to celebrate World Environment Day every day. What do you say, Aisha? Absolutely. This is our Estedama themed edition, one of 4 pillars of Big B Meetup, the others being sports and wellness, celebrating art, and this ability, championing people who are differently abled and neurodiverse. We would like to thank our community partners, ISL Qatar, a greatly phenomenally forward-thinking school, La Terre Luxury, a Qatari sustainability fashion brand, AG Leaves, an agro-hydrophonic company, and Big B Photography, your art photographer. As at every Big B meetup, we always highlight a non-profit organization. This time it is Qatar Natural History Group, and we are honored to have Dr. Theory from Qatar Natural History Group with us. Now, please welcome Dr. Sean, Head of School, ISL Qatar, to the podium.
Thank you, Bosco. Good evening. Welcome guests, panelists, members of the community, in addition to our ISL Qatar staff and students in attendance. Thank you to Mr. Bosco Manises and the Big B Meetup for co-hosting this important conversation in collaboration with ISL Qatar. It is our pleasure to have all of you here with us this afternoon, both in person and in the virtual community. Aligned with ISL Qatar's mission, core values, and definition of learning, we are fully committed to doing our part to foster sustainability at our school, in our local community, and globally. Under the leadership of our Eco Club, our school is endeavoring to support the UN Sustainable Development Goals 2030 by first, creating biodiverse green learning spaces. Second, eliminating, reducing, or repurposing waste. And thirdly, integrating the Sustainable Development Goals across the curriculum and learning within our school. We are proud to be a leader of these important initiatives, and our learning community regularly considers how we contribute positively to our environment. Through these and related initiatives, ISL Qatar is aspiring to achieve Eco School's Green Flag status soon. More important than recognition for the school, this status will continue to provide motivation to our learners to strive to make our school, local community, and the world healthier and more sustainable. Finally, I want to recognize 2 ISL Qatar students here tonight participating as panelists in this event. Obviously, we have many other important panelists that will be presented here tonight, but Heloise and Haley are both completing grade 8 in the coming week. So they're very impressive students for their age. These young leaders exemplify what it means to be an ISL Qatar student, global citizens who are dedicated to using their learning and their places of privilege to make a positive difference in the community. So, welcome everyone. Without further ado, let's enjoy the rest of the event and the conversation.
Thank you, Dr. Sean. And Mabruk, the two young girls there, truly global citizens. Next up is our keynote speaker and back-to-back Big B Meetup speaker, in fact, Ghanem Al-Sulaiti. Mabruk on the recent opening of Botany Labs at a vegan skincare hub and being awarded Social and Sustainable Entrepreneur of the Year. Bravo.
Hello, everyone. Thank you guys for hosting me here today. So my name is Ghanem Al-Sulaiti. I'm the owner and CEO and founder of Embat Holdings, which is a vegan investment company that I started here in Doha back in 2016. Our aim from day one was, how can we change the way people live their lives here in Qatar? How can we inspire people to live a better lifestyle, eat better, consume better, and be a better human beings? And I think from day one, our obsession was, how can we educate and raise awareness? We started our journey with educating ourselves, trying to inform ourselves on how we can make the change with simple steps that we took on our daily lives. I started it myself actually back in 2013 with the idea of going vegan. I went vegan because I felt better on a vegan diet. I felt better on following a lifestyle that is more sustainable and more plant-based. But at the same time, I came back to Qatar because I used to live in the US at that time and found that there is a huge gap between the understanding of plant-based food and how plant-based food in Doha means something completely different than what is other people around the world actually have perceived it. So I really researched and educated myself, and I started traveling the world trying to understand how we can incorporate not just plant-based food, but also the kind of sustainable lifestyle into our daily lives. And that's how my first business actually started, called Evergreen Organics. We launched in 2016 back in the Pearl, with the concept of introducing plant-based food in a more affordable, simple, delicious way. But then what we kind of got back from the community is that people were actually starving for something like that. And we didn't know that actually people wanted something like that in this community. So then at that point, we understood that the market for sustainability, health, and wellness is bigger than everybody's ability to realize. And we felt that people, when they see something that is available and accessible, they will actually go for it. We live in a market where people are not saying they want sustainable stuff, but when the sustainable products are right there, they actually choose it. So we've gone from just having Evergreen to launching Botany, which is a vegan skincare line that is fully sustainable and recyclable. We launched then Papercut, which is an eco-friendly sustainable packaging factory where we do packaging for all the restaurants and hotels around Qatar. We then gone and created a concept called Milk, which is an ice cream and chocolatier that focuses on creating delicious vegan food. Then we launched Thalathin, which is our cultural vegan concept at the National Museum of Qatar. We then launched Green and Go, which is a grab-and-go vegan concept that is in the metro stations around Doha to help people on the go eat and choose healthy food. So we've gone from just having a small restaurants to having this huge empire of vegan businesses, just because the community actually wanted it and wanted that growth and wanted that kind of products. And I believe where we are today and why we're doing this and why sustainability is so important is because everybody's seeing how the impact of our choices on a daily basis is having on the environment, on having on our children's, on having on our students, and how simple changes by, drinking water from your reusable bottles, or saying no to plastic bags, or opting meats for a vegetarian dish. All of these small steps have huge impact at the end of the day. And we've seen research, we've seen countries, we've seen big organizations actually backing such information. And I think Qatar have finally now backed such information by investing in vegan businesses, by launching this ban to plastic, which happened a few weeks ago, which is a huge for us, for Qatar. All of these things are happening because I think we are going to a place and to kind of a world where we all need to come together and make those changes. a lot of people say, well, going vegan will not solve the issues, or using, a paper bag today will not solve the issue. But I do believe that every small step that we take have a huge impact. Me going vegan have apparently now allowed thousands of people here in Qatar now to not just eat plant-based food, but also, reduce their carbon footprint by choosing a plant-based diet, or by using my product that is fully sustainable. So I do believe that every person here on the panel, as students, any initiative that's happened or is happening is very important. And that's why I'm always supportive of all these amazing initiatives that are coming from our students, that are coming from the young generation. I mean, we see those generation as the future of our planet, and we believe that that generation is what's going to keep us going. And that's where we need to invest more on giving them more platforms and allowing them to shine. And I'm so happy to see examples right here for us to kind of show us that it's actually possible. A lot of people think that Qatar is exempt from all this environmental issues that are happening around the world, because we don't get any climate change impacts as much as you can't actually see it as much as other countries are. But don't get me wrong, I mean, if you look deeper into what's happening with our beaches and our water and our air, and there's so much that still needs to be improved, and there's so much that needs to be done, and we can make the difference. I think there is a huge investment that going into the cars these days. Karwa have announced huge electric diversion. There is the Qatar Investment Authority have invested in vegan eggs. I mean, seriously, vegan eggs that's going to be made here in Doha. Don't ask me what these vegan eggs are made from, but I mean, someone is thinking, someone is trying to innovate and change what we usually think is normal, and we think it's okay to continue on doing the same thing. What I did personally, and I think this is kind of where I want to kind of summarize this, is I'm trying to do as much as I can in my own capabilities. So what I have is my companies. I have 250 staff that are working with us. Those 250 staff are all commuting using the Doha Metro project, thanks to the Doha Metro project. All our businesses are located next to a metro station, and we intentionally put them next to a metro station so that all our staff are commuting back and forth to the metro station. We don't print any papers in our offices. We use digital solutions. We make sure that all our concepts don't sell any plastics. So all our bags are paper or biodegradable or sustainable. We make sure that all our stationery products that are usually in offices are all digital. So we use digital business cards. We use digital everything, literally. I mean, I recommend and invite all of you guys to visit any of our businesses and to see those small initiatives that we took and how can that make a huge impact on the customers and the consumers. So without further ado, I would like to thank you guys again for inviting me here today to share a little bit of, of what we do as MBOT Holdings and what we've done in the past 6 years. And don't get me wrong, this is not it. I think there is more to be done. And there's a lot of focus and a lot of research that we are putting now to innovate more and to bring more solution to the table. But with the help of the community, with the help of you guys, with the help of the professors and the teachers and the students and the educational institutes here in Qatar, I'm sure we can make a difference. I think this World Cup will be a huge example of how small changes that the government have taken are paying off. I was sitting just with the FIFA people just a few days ago, and they are committing to using no plastic whatsoever, to stop using any kind of product that doesn't biodegrade or compost. So there are huge steps. It just needs you guys to raise awareness, educate the people around you, make that small choice when you go to the supermarket, when you buy what you eat today for lunch or for dinner. So I recommend you all to kind of, open yourself for opportunities and open yourself for new ideas and new ways to live your life, because for us to save the environment and live a better lifestyle, we have to get outside of our comfort zone. And that can be a little bit uncomfortable, but I assure you that on the other side is actually very enjoyable and fun. And at the same time, it's exciting and there's so much to be explored. So thank you so much. And I hope and wish all the best of luck for all the speakers today. Thank you.
Thanks, Ghanem. In fact, thanks for reminding me. This is a plastic neutral event, a zero plastic event, in fact. And I was with the same FIFA people the next day after you were with them. And we were at a workshop for zero plastic events. And I don't know if many people know out here, but maybe Shreya does. We had, and Dr. Farhan Sakal, of course, we had our first, and Madam here, our first zero plastic event at a UNESCO heritage site in 2018, and paper cut were integral part of making us zero plastic. Uh, we had no plastic at our event. Our invitations were made of recycled paper. Our backdrop was made out of recycled paper, thanks to paper cut. And we had glass decoupage artwork done by Shreya, the master artist there. In fact, some of the work she's done there, I mean, now with kids, that's what you see here on the stage. Isn't this beautiful? I mean, when I came in to see the exhibition last week or a week before, and they were going to get it off because they were having the graduation, I said, please, could you get some of it back here? And my favorite has to be the B, which is with the Rayan bottles. Yeah, it's lovely. So, if you don't want to throw your plastic, you can make artwork out of it, yeah? Now we are going to go to the panelists. Excuse me from this little place here. Okay. Join the lovely ladies and gentlemen here. So I have a question actually for everybody because this is interactive. Yeah, you can all, this is like a little classroom, a big classroom. What are we doing to nurture our environment? Yeah. Think about it, and whoever wants to answer that question can raise your hand whenever, and we will let you all answer that. Yeah. So that question is for each one of you all as well. Uh, who wants to start? Would you like to start off? Yeah. So please, could you introduce yourself, Haley and Heloise? Heloise. Okay. Lovely. Yeah. Sure.
Okay, well, hello. Me and my friend Haley over here are in grade 8, and we have been part of the Eco Club, and we have tried our best to improve the school environment to be more sustainable and green. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really know what to say.
Yeah. If you yeah, and can you introduce yourself too?
Okay, so yeah, like Louise said, I'm Healy, and we've been both part of the Eco Club since the very beginning. It was introduced to us through one of our subjects, in which we both were very passionate about the environment. So that's how we became like involved with it. Yeah, and we've been trying to make our school grounds a more eco-friendly environment by promoting the idea and including a lot of initiatives.
Lovely, excellent. So what are your roles at the Eco Club?
Well, as Haley said, we are both kind of like founders,
Oh,
and
wow.
we do a bit of everything. For example, when the weather is nice, we help with the planting outside, and we have planted plants, yes, of fruits and vegetables. We have helped with the art and design exhibition made by recycled materials. And Haley has presented the Green School and Eco Club and for his school like project to the primary classes, like in a PowerPoint presentation with other people.
Okay, yeah, so like she said, one of my major roles was presenting the ideas on the concept of the eco school and the forest school to the primary grades. And we've specifically targeted these grades because introducing a sustainable lifestyle from an early age is important. So we decided to do that. The outcome of this was that we recruited lots of members, and we also got ideas and of like factors and aspects that we should include in the eco school, as it would be primarily for them. And we wanted to create a forest school project that will be a suitable but also enjoyable environment for students to learn.
Fantastic. Hello, if I'm not mistaken, you were at our previous event for the launch of the Forest School project in September last year. Were you-
I was, yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
yes.
So, how far have we reached with the Forest School with the students?
Well, a few weeks ago, there was in the forest school. Well, Haley is the one that worked more on the forest school, but like,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yes,
Okay.
Haley.
So a few weeks ago, we had a architect come in. In this, we planned like the overall layout of the forest school garden, in which we would start construction, I believe, in summer during the summer break. We talked about the different aspects that we could include in the forest garden that would make it, like I said, an enjoyable environment. So we're looking at the like different animals that we could include and the different learning factors that should be included in it also.
Lovely, lovely.
Yes.
We'll come back to you. I'd like to move to a very special and intriguing person, and she's the first person. I mean, she's been on the Big B meetup for the first time, Dr. Aspa. If you could, yeah. If you
I'm
could,
not the most important person in your panel. These two girls are,
yes, actually
if
they
I may
are.
say so.
Could you please introduce yourself to our guests and us too?
Gladly. My name is Dr. Aspa Hadzifimeo. I'm an ecologist working in Qatar since 2013. The common thread in my research projects is extreme environments, and we all know that the desert is a very extreme environment. And besides my academic research, I'm also very involved with students from early years all the way to university students, because I think this is a very important thing, and it's a service that we all academics need to offer to the community. And I'm also, like I'm doing here, I interact with the community.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Doctor, I mean, before this, I didn't really hear about you much. But what I loved about you is you did a lovely program for Pause Rescue, and then that's when you came on my radar. Could you give us a little insights on what you did for them and how you got about that?
I don't know if you guys know the Alan Alda podcast. If you do not know him, check him out. I don't think that there is a better interviewer than him. And he had a climate scientist in one of the episodes, and the climate scientist said that people ask him, "What can I do about the climate? What can I do to protect Earth?" And the climate scientist said, "Anything and everything that you can do." There is, that's life. So that's my motto. I do anything and everything that I can do. And something that is very near and dear to my heart is animal welfare. And POSE is one of the shelters that is doing an amazing job in Qatar. And I support them in two ways. I go every week and I take dogs out because since I lost my dog, I need the dog interaction. And I also organize educational tours out in nature, and the proceeds go towards covering their operating needs, which are big. So I suggest that maybe you don't like dogs, it's fine, and everybody needs to like them, but contribute to your community. It pays back in so many ways.
Yeah, true. Well, Pause is very close to my heart as well because they were the first nonprofit that we promoted on our first ever Big B meetup in April 2018. Doctor, please give us insights into your labor of love, the Wilderness book, is it?
Yes. So the Wilderness book, I collaborate with Raviv Cohen, who is a wildlife photographer and tracker trailer. And the idea came to me because I was interacting again with a lot of people, and I'm the talks coordinator at the Qatar Natural History Group as well. And part of the mission of Qatar Natural History Group is to expose people in Qatar to the local culture and nature. So I have a lot of interaction with people, and I fastly realized that, when I say Rauda or Sabha, people don't have a mental image of what I know to be a Sabha or a Rauda. So that was number one. And number two, in my academic research, it was always very hard to find bibliographic references and work that was Qatar specific. And we need that when we do ecology. I cannot necessarily always apply what scientists see in Saudi Arabia and Qatar. We're different. So then I thought that we would have panoramas in the book that cover a whole ecosystem. So people can see, when I say Rauda, it's the green area, the garden of the desert. And it connects, it's surrounded by rocky desert, let's say. And then also create a text that a scientist new to Qatar would have, and they would have a spherical idea of what's happening in Qatar in terms of ecology, even indigenous Bedouin knowledge, so indigenous ecology, terrestrial, but the terrestrial environment and the marine environment. And again, I also incorporate elements of environmental sustainability as well. This is a big theme in my work.
Yeah. Well, I'd love to contribute to that book as a wildlife photographer myself. I'd love to contribute. We can talk about it at some point. I'd like to move to the next person who's been the first time on the program, Jonathan. Could you please introduce yourself,
Bosco.
Jonathan?
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Jonathan Owen. I arrived here in December from Finland. So I'd lived in Finland for 8 years, very different climate. And I'm the guidance counselor here. I help predominantly grade 11 and 12, but some of the younger students as well kind of work out what they want to do and what they want to do when they leave school. So kind of I help them with their own curriculum, which is themselves. And that's very different from every other aspect of school life, really. So yeah, that's what I do on a daily basis.
Okay, lovely. So what is it like to be a college counselor? And did you say Finnish?
Yeah.
So you finished with Finland and you're here to Doha.
Yeah, I mean, I'm originally from the UK, and then my first international experience actually was here in 2008 to 2010. Then I went to Kazakhstan in the Tian Shan Mountains, right on the border with China, a very high altitude city, Almaty. And then I worked in Finland for 8 years at the international school there, and kind of got fed up with the winters. Yeah, and so I thought, no, I'm going to move south again. So yeah, and here I am.
So you could write for Dr. Asper's book too, because extreme climate.
Yeah.
You're coming from Finland, and here we are in another extreme. So how do you like Qatar?
Well, it's certainly very different. I mean, yeah, I mean, Finland's a country of extremes. With the summer, you can have 35 degrees, 20 hours sunlight, and then in the winter, minus 30. And the main thing really is the light. It's we get 5 hours of very dim light in the middle of the winter. So, gradually the whole society slows down by February, and everybody's in basically human hibernation. And so that's pretty tough. And then, Qatar is a much more of a vibrant energy. So it's quite a different place.
When you're nearing human hibernation right now in the summer in Qatar, or, the people will be traveling, you're nearing human hibernation now in Qatar in the summers.
It's estivation.
Ah, okay. Please elaborate.
Okay.
The equivalent of hibernation that occurs in the winter time is called estivation, which is in the summertime. And some animals do go to sleep when it's very hot.
Thank you, doctor. I see. I knew
Yeah.
we needed her here. Yeah. So what do you do with the Eco Club, Jonathan?
Right. Well, I guess just going back to Finland, well, in the UK, I was brought up with a family. My parents moved from London, and we they moved out to what's called a small holding. So they started, rearing chickens and going self-sufficient. So when I was very young, I was exposed to like growing vegetables and plants, and it's quite good fun, really. And so when I was in Finland, I bought a house, had a little garden. I thought, okay, I'll grow some plants, and then I got really frustrated with the 3-month summer. There's only 3 months frost-free there, so it's very difficult. And then when I arrived here in December, I thought, oh my God, I thought all these plants here that you could grow in this amazing winter climate. And so jumped in with the Eco Club straight away. And Christina, actually, we were connecting while I was waiting in Finland to travel over here, talking about Eco Club. I was really looking forward to it. And so what we do, basically what we've been doing is developing the soil here in some of the bedding areas where plants are already growing. And the students have dug in 32 very large bags of Qatar created organic compost into.
Can you repeat that, please?
Yeah, the students have dug in 32 bags, very large bags of organic
Wow. Where are they?
compost that is created in. Well, that's actually the.
One of the bags.
I'll talk about that in a minute. Like that's the
Yeah.
sort of the school-produced compost. But there's
Okay.
a company here, I believe, that makes Qatar-created compost. I guess from recycled organic matter and other soils maybe brought in.
Okay.
Anyway, so students have dug a load of that in, done the hard work this year, because we didn't really start that until the students came back in February after we were locked down, and then we've done a lot of work there, and we've tried growing some plants. So we got some sunflowers in, and some tomatoes, we've also, one of the students actually got inspired by something we talked about, and he brought in a mango seed this plant here on the front.
Okay. So
Yeah.
that's the mango plant.
Yeah. So he's I don't know, I think he's 7, and he came along one day and he heard about this idea of us growing trees here. So he kept the mango seed from the fruit that they bought in the supermarket in the fridge for 2 weeks, and that encourages the seed to start germinating. And then 3 weeks later, he's very happy about the prospect of a giant mango
Great.
tree on the school
So
grounds.
Ghanem, what's your next project? Growing mango in Doha. Absolutely. Did I tell you about a friend of mine? He brought in mango seeds from India around 30 years ago, and in Al Sadd, he lived in a villa. He's grown and harvested mangoes in Al Sadd. Yeah. I'm going to go back there and see if that plant is still alive, because the way Ashgal is going around town, I don't know where the plants are actually.
Well, I have to confess, that was brought back by a fruit from Brazil in the holiday.
Okay.
So I don't know if they meant to do that, but
Okay, yeah, lovely. Yeah. So let's go on to Dr. Theory. We need to know a lot about his rambles, but let him introduce himself first, and then let's talk about what you do at Qatar Natural History Group.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. So I'm Thierry Le Salle. I am a geographer, and I work here as an environmental journalist when I'm here in Qatar. And I am involved with Qatar Natural History Group. I am actually the chairperson for the group. And Qatar Natural History Group has been active in Qatar since 1978. So it's been more than
1978. Wow.
So we're going to celebrate 44 years of activities, and I believe it's one of the oldest groups, natural history group in the region.
Oh.
And what do we do? Actually, the group bring together people who have an interest in the nature, the culture, and the history of Qatar and the region. And I joined the group because I found it was a great way to get an introduction and to discover the Qatari environment, the Qatari nature. Through our activities, we have some monthly talks. We do monthly outings in the desert. So we are exposed to nature. We learn about nature with some specialists, and we go also in the desert to learn more about the environment.
Fantastic. I'm a big fan of the Qatar National History Group. Even before you joined them, there was a wonderful Japanese doctor doing a study on hedgehogs.
Yes.
And I really pity the hedgehogs in the farmland in Qatar because the hedgehog, correct me if I'm wrong, Dr. Asper, when the hedgehog is feeling vulnerable, they cuddle up together and become a little ball. But that doesn't stop them from being run over by cars going towards
They are
farm.
very vulnerable to road kills because they believe they are protected. So they just stopped
So
and
exactly.
make that little round
I have
ball
yet
and
to see a live hedgehog. I've only encountered 3 hedgehogs, and all of them been road kills.
that's unfortunate. But yes, usually they are active after sunset.
Yeah.
Even during the evening. So you're very lucky. You have to know the areas where they are or to get a lucky encounter.
Well, I know the areas where they are now. Yeah. So what more can you tell us about Qatar National History Group? Who can join the Qatar National History Group? Because I've been on a couple of rambles with you during COVID, and it is a wealth of information, a good exercise too. And there are lovely young students who join your groups and from different nationalities, and I found them really intriguing and very impressive and very intelligent, and they know the environment. Could you please elaborate, because that smile says a lot.
Yeah, we are trying to educate our members. Our talks are open to the public, our monthly talks. Usually we have our monthly talks the first Wednesday of the month. Usually we do them at Doha English speaking schools, first Wednesday of the month. And then we have different topics. Could be the whale sharks, could be the corals, it could be the plants, some aspects of the plants, could be some animals, some insects. And then we have our our outings. These outings are reserved for our members because those outings, we want a limited numbers usually.
Yeah.
We don't want to have a big impact when we go out in the deserts. We don't want 70 cars running in the deserts, but that's what we do.
Yeah, and we've had the amazing Dr. Farhan also lecture you all at the events.
We are very lucky to have Dr. Ferran as a resource.
Yeah, so he does
Speaker.
stuff on culture. So you all also do things on culture with Qatar Natural History
Of
Group.
course,
Isn't it?
It's linked. You can't talk about nature without talking about also the culture, how the nature is being used, the tradition. We recently had an exchange about the traditional knowledge, and that's very important.
How can we,
understand.
Dr. T, if I may say so, how can we incorporate locals like Qataris to speak at them? I'd like the Qatar Natural History Group community to know about the first Qatari vegan. Are you the first Qatari vegan? You don't use that term. Apologies. Yeah, a person like a phenomenal person like Ghanem speak at Qatar National History Group, because
You're welcome. That would be great. Actually, when Qatar Natural History Group was founded, it was founded with Qataris and expats. Nowadays, the group is perceived as an expat group, but we have a few Qatari members. But we are trying to open more to Qataris and invite Qataris more.
Yeah.
And some Qataris come and they are very happy also to discover some aspects of their own environment.
Absolutely. Because that evening Raudat ramble that we had was just fantastic. We got to see spiders, gerbils, scorpions, and another insect that I can't remember the name.
Yeah, the thing that we don't realize is like at night, the desert is completely different.
Yeah.
Many animals actually are active at night and not during the day. So when you go out on a field trip in a roda, you see a lot of life. And actually you realize that the desert is not desert, it's full of life.
Yeah.
And at night, yes, you came once with us, you see many insects, many gerbils.
Yeah.
And yes, we were very
And we were lucky to get a
that
snake
night.
as well on another occasion.
We can find some snakes, yes.
Yeah, true. There's another Frenchman, a friend of mine, who traveled across Qatar on foot, unassisted, and he encountered a snake on his travel on foot, unassisted, around the periphery of Qatar.
Yes, Pierre Daniel.
Pierre Daniel,
Pierre Daniel was
exactly.
one of our speakers. Actually, he shared his
Fantastic.
experience with us because we thought that was extraordinary what he has done, and he shared also his observation because when you walk on foot like that in the desert, you make lots of observations.
Very true.
And that's what we're trying to do actually, just to go
Yeah.
out, connect with nature, and we do bird watching.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah, I was going to
interesting.
go there. Thanks for going there. Actually, bird watching at Karana, we had an incident there which we reported, and I mean, I don't know if there's any harm in talking about it, but it was a incident where there were lovely flamingos, and we saw people actually shoot them for pleasure. So
Yeah, we should realize that Qatar is an extraordinary place for bird watching. You
It
don't
is.
realize that when you live in the city, but there are more than 300 species of birds that can be observed in Qatar because of the
not just migratory.
because of the migration.
Okay.
There are many birds migrating, species migrating through Qatar, and so you see differences from year to years, and so that makes it exciting because you never know what species you will encounter. You may encounter some new species, and actually some of our members were able to have the first sighting of some species, and that's very extraordinary when you
Yeah.
think about it.
And exciting.
And it's true that when you consider the local culture where hunting is something big, here, of course, sometimes you have some incidents with hunters who killed precious
Yeah.
birds.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, that was a sad incident, but I can never forget that. From sad to let's move to happy. Let's get Christina. Christina, you're a pro on the Big B show. I think this is the 4th or 5th time you're on our program.
Yes.
It's always lovely to have you. You're a breath
Thank
of
you very
fresh air.
much.
Could you explain? Can you tell our audience your role at ISL?
Yes. Hello. My name is Christina, and I've moved to Qatar 2 years ago. I am the Eco Club Sustainability Coordinator, and also the Services Action and CAS Coordinator. So in the Eco Club, I joined the Eco Club. It used to be a project where students started the Eco B, and they start thinking about how they can promote the environment, issues about the environment in Doha. And then we start developing the ideas and the students had throughout the community. Like, for example, we started creating the idea of building a forest school at SL Qatar, which we're just about to start building in 2 weeks' time. But it has taken a long time to develop the whole idea, to present to the students, because the Eco Club is a student-led activity. We promote student agency here. So all the students have, they talk about what they want to do, what they want to, areas they want to develop. And also, for example, Eloise can talk a little bit more about the recycled battery in a minute. And we have a student from grade 5 here who brought a prototype about a pencil with the shape of a fish. I'd like to show that as well.
Absolutely.
So
we'll
what
get
we try to implement is the idea that we develop the UN Sustainable Development Goals, that the 17 goals that we into our curriculum. So we've been changing our curriculum and the MIP and GP and the primary accordingly. So the students investigate the ideas, they plan it properly, they create projects, and they reflect on it. So it's just that one time things they do. They do it, like, for example, we went to the grade 6 beach cleanup with the GIAP, and then after that, we collect some of the bottles, and we ask students to bring some of the bottles from home as well. And we want to upcycle them, to give them those bottles a bit of existence, to stay longer in the here. So we did with the help of lovely Sharia, who's been a wonderful artist, helping us with many projects in the Eco Club. We did a technique called decoupage, which is the students paint the bottle and glue, stick some messages. And so the grade 6 students did that, and the grade 10 students helped the grade 6. So the beach, that the bottles that we have collected stay longer. Now they are part of the environmental exhibition. They are part of this display here. So we try to, we did for the environmental exhibition that we had 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
We asked everybody to come and bring items from home. So we had students creating a plant with water bottles. We had this lovely vase here. I don't know if she's here, Noor, from grade 11. She was supposed to come back to talk about it. It's so students brought, so until the day before the exhibition, I didn't know how many students or how many work were going to be here, because when you give students, you ask students to contribute, and the students organize the exhibition. The environment exhibition was organized by the 2 grade 6 students, 1 grade 10, and 1 grade 11. So you don't know what's going to happen until the very day. So it was quite exciting, but it turned out to be a good exhibition.
Absolutely, it was a beautiful exhibition. I enjoyed watching it and taking part. Talking of sustainable development goals at the Eco School, what is your favorite sustainable development goal?
That's a
Christina?
very difficult question. Of course, I'm educator, so school for all, education for all is my main goal. And of course, stop poverty in the world, but there's big tasks. And I think everybody is aware of the UN Sustainable Goals, but there are goals that are global goals that we are hoping to achieve some of them, or most of them, by 2030. This is a UN, they call global values now. And they start, I think it was developed in 2015, the Rio UN conference. And so we use those as a platform, as a kind of blueprint for our work here. But no, even if we create things and our ideas change all the time, we are talking about the forest school, which is we are going to create. And we started last year, and then the first program,
in September.
September, and now it's just about to build. It took a long time. Haley presented all the ideas from the primary students. Then the primary students drew like 40 drawings, more or less. Then Haley collected all the drawings, show again, brought back to the club. We decided which ones were good. Then we had 3 architects, were parents here, who helped with the design. And then one design was chosen, Sashi design. So everything is part of the process, and now finally we are going to build it.
Yeah. So what is the next stage with the forest school project? Because I feel part of the project myself.
Yes, of
'Cause
course,
we
you
had
have your donated plants. And
Yeah, so we are donating plants also to the forest school project. So if you guys want to donate plants to the first ever forest school project in Qatar at the school, please do so.
So Forest School is a program that was created a long time ago, I think beginning of 20th century in Scandinavia. So of course, in Qatar, we bring a forest school program here. It's something completely different. And they're not going to use the same ideas what they had there, because it would be impossible. And talking to Dr. Asp the other day, talking even about but welcoming frogs here. We have to be very careful. Insects and frog, and it would be nice to have bees, but you have to think about the school, allergies. So we have to, everything we do, we have to be very careful, because you are not changing the environment, but you are adding. So we have to, the forest school here, we are working with a lovely company and an architect who are very keen to keep native plants, to think about every single aspect of it. And it's going to be, so the primary is going to use one way, the secondary students are going to use another way, and the diploma students differently. It's going to be a place for grounding, for relaxation. So it's going to be very dynamic, but the program we're going to divide ourselves. And of course, in consultation with Dr. Aspa, because we have to be very careful, everything we do. And we have also donations. That plant next to Dr. Aspa is a mango, avocado tree. One of our parents, they are moving to a different location. So now every day my office comes with a new plant.
Yeah.
So it's very nice that we're involving the parents, the local community, and the international community. And yeah, my room is every day is a different
I can see
items.
I can see my donated plant
Yes,
also on your table there.
the cactus is there, and so we try to use as to welcome and also to develop our ideas with the local community. We are in Qatar. It's very important that we work with the Qatari community and also international community. It's very important for me to learn about what has been implemented here and what we can do in the school.
True.
So it's a work in progress, lots of reflection, lots of review and refine. And any ideas, I really like to hear from everybody. We are a very open-minded group, and we meet every Wednesday. We have been meeting every Wednesday, even during the lockdown, during Ramadan. We didn't stop. Every single Wednesday we meet, and we also have Chris here in the audience, who is a lovely, lovely teacher who is being really helpful implementing this program. So we have now the Eco Club has grown. We have so many members. We have members from KG to grade 11, so from
Wonderful.
3,
That's nice.
4 to 17 years old.
That's nice.
So we had to divide it in 3 groups, in 4 groups last week because there were so many. And we have arts and craft group, 2 groups of arts and craft. We have a planting group, we have a composting group. And so we're developing a plan next year, talking about what we can do to continue implementation
Lovely.
in the school.
Great. Dr. Thierry, you have a few questions or a question or two for the children here, for Haley, Alois, and Haley.
Then Sophie.
Yeah, we'll do that too. Yeah.
I was curious to know what was the motivation, what motivated you to be involved, to get involved in the Eco Club?
Should I answer first? Okay, so I don't really know for Haley, but me, I wanted to join the Eco Club because I'm passionate about protecting the environment, and also because, but it was during COVID, so I was a bit bored and I wanted to know. Yeah, but like, yeah, but so I joined the Eco Club and I felt like I could make a difference and I could help the school become more sustainable. So yeah.
That's a very candid answer.
Yeah, and we also, yes, so I have the Eco Club not only during the Wednesday lessons, but for example, during Genius Hour this year, we have worked on a community project, and we were the first Gahaid to do a community project exhibition a few weeks ago. And I have worked on recycling batteries, as you can see the bin over there. Normally it's at the entrance. Yeah.
Very interesting. Recycling batteries.
Yeah. So it's a bin where anybody that comes can put their batteries.
So do you know where we can give those batteries, recycled batteries? The last year we celebrated World Environment Day, and Dr. Thierry was on our virtual show, and Dr. Thierry actually he used to take his batteries back to France to recycle them.
That was at the very beginning of my stay here in Qatar. There was no solution for battery recycling, no solution also for used medicine. So I was traveling back to France with my used batteries, with my used medicine, just so that can be recycled back home. But fortunately, you can see that there were lots of progress made recently in Qatar. We talk more about sustainability, of course, but we talk more about recycling. And there are many recycling solutions available now.
Yeah, very true, very true.
Yeah, it was a bit challenging to find where we could recycle our batteries. And we found a recycling factory in Qatar and we emailed them and then they didn't answer. So now, if you put your batteries here, once a month we bring them to IKEA.
Okay.
And they bring them to the recycling factory we were talking
Wonderful.
about earlier. Yeah.
That's nice. Great.
Yeah.
One more question, actually, we'll go to Dr. Aspa. You can keep it short if you like. The question is long, though. Research, that's in fact a question from Dr. Thierry. Research is paramount to better understand our environment. Please, can you share why research is so important for conservation?
For what?
For conservation.
I think research is important for everything. We would not be sitting here if it wasn't for research, right? We hear this anti-scientist dogma, and I don't know why we are against anti-science. We like our phones, we like our water to be hot, we like our computers. Scientists did all this work. In in Qatar specifically, and when we're talking about ecological work, like I said in the beginning, it's terra y concreta. So there are a lot of things that we're not sure about. And one of the things that we're not sure about is how many species we have and where are they distributed exactly. You may say, oh, that's not that important if we don't know where they are exactly, but it is, because if you cannot measure something, you cannot manage it. So for example, if I know that there is we'll give an example of a conservation effort that is in action now in Qatar. So we know that the hawksbill turtles, which is an endangered species of sea turtles, and is the only nesting turtle in Qatar. And we know that they like to go back to give birth in the beaches that they were born, they hatched. So what did the Ministry of Environment do? They went and they closed off Fuwerit Beach. What does that do? It increases the number of eggs that are being laid and the turtles that are being born and are returned to the environment. So it matters to have the numbers, it matters to have the locations, because then you can better go and manage the problem and help to successfully conserve a species. So this is one aspect of why research is important. And research for our environment is, I don't know what else is more important than that. Do you?
Oh, I don't.
Does anyone?
Yeah, before we started the panelist discussion, we had put out a question. What are we doing to nurture our environment? And if anybody has an answer to that, it can be even, you could even say, I'm not doing anything. But if anybody has an answer, I don't know, should I ask my life coach, Ahmed Shahrani? Okay. Okay. Does anybody have an answer there? How about Mubaraka? What are you're learning something on Estedama at school, at uni, right? Would you like? Yeah. Can I? Should I come and give you the mic? There, yeah. Or will you shout it out? Welcome back.
Hello, my name is Mubaraka Naimi. I'm a tennis player in the national team. Okay, I'm a little bit nervous and shy, sorry. Actually, I studied university now. My major is HR, business, but I had this subject first, it's environment, like science and environment. So I learned about climate change and desertification because we are in desert. So I really like these topics, and I was like looking with my doctor in the university. And also I did a full project about sustainability, about I don't know, the 17 or 19 sustainability, I don't know how it's called. Yeah. So it was fun for me. And since then, I came to the Volvo showroom for the like the event, and I like it, and I ask him every like sustainability event he invites me like this. I learn a lot from you guys. So thank you so much for bringing me.
Very inspiring. That's an ace for Mubaraka there. She's the #1 female tennis player of Qatar. Yeah, bravo. But not everybody's off the hook. What are you doing for our environment? I'd like to get an answer from. Actually, I'm going to put people on the spot here, right? People who I know and love a lot. Dr. Farhan, Shreya, Ehsan, Yalla.
Fatma, Eco Kids.
Shashi is here too? Sophie, yeah.
Can I pass the microphone?
Yeah,
We
yeah, yeah.
have
Yeah, we can.
two-
We can just keep one mic here. Dr. Farhan? I always like to put you on
Hi
the spot.
everyone, this is Hassan Malik.
Next time.
A little bit contribution in environmental activities. I would like to talk about what Mr. Bosco asked about questions, that what we're doing for environment. As doctor said, that do what you can do for your environment to make it better. Um, Normally, I'm trying my best from long time, as anyone is doing their job to contribute for environment betterness. Since in Qatar, I'm here in 2017, and the first day I started with some organization for cleanups and uh, events like here. And uh, my thinking for to how we can upgrade ourselves and to make it better for the future. Uh, uh, on the side of cleanups, I'm trying myself from last 6 months. I'm going to the industrial areas, to the labor camps, where the lower community who don't have much education system, where I know multi languages like Hindi, then Persian, English, some of the languages which they can understand. I keep meetings with them on Friday, like around 1,500 laborers, 1,000 laborers, and I talk to them about whenever you're going on Friday to the beaches or corniches and all the places, how do you have to react in these places? How you have to take care of environment, not to throw the plastic bottles and all. So it's getting better. Like I almost visit to maybe 20 or 22 labor camps with the help of some supervisor or camp bosses. So from my side, I'm trying my best to educate these people where in higher community we really forget them. So they are a part of us, like we sitting in buildings and all because of them, because they're doing construction works. So this is one of the part. I have one question from Qatar National History group, and doctor also as well, and also Dr. Farhan is here. So I have one question combined. Anyone who can give
Ehsan,
answer.
before that question, I just want to applaud what you're doing. That's just fantastic. That's just great.
I'll make the question very simple. As Qatar National History Group is also exploring, they're doing rumbles. Dr. Farhan is doing fantastic job in archaeologically, and doctor also. As I'm a wildlife photographer as well, so I go season to seasons, bird watching and all. And most of the time, my favorite thing is to take the pictures of desert plants and flowers. That's my one of my favorite. So Qatar National History, or who is related to the wild area, uh, are you doing something like, because I see some of the plants and flowers are disappearing from the deserts. So do you have any, are you doing some research about this year to year, or there is some sort of, I mean, is there any watch on that? This is my question. Yeah.
That, that's very interesting, actually, because that's part of what we call citizen science. It's like our own observations. Every citizen, everyone can make observations that can be useful for scientists. I don't think that there are any research program specifically on plant evolution, desertification here in Qatar. But no, but with that kind of research program based on citizen science, there is none. And that's something that we are trying to work on so that our observation can be useful. Dr. Aspa, if you want to add something.
First of all, thank you very much for what you do with the workers. We're not higher and they are lower. Let's try to avoid using these terms. They make me very uncomfortable. But thank you. I appreciate your efforts. I I do not, I'm 95% certain, and I say 95% because I'm a scientist, we never say 100%. I'm 95% certain that there is no program for citizen scientists to report plant distribution. I have initiated a few projects on iNaturalist, and I'm doing one in collaboration with QNAG and Hinat Salma Farm, and we're gonna expand it and check out iNaturalist. It's a magnificent application. But I know that there are many scientists that are botanists and plant ecologists and study plants and how they adapt to the desert and how they can propagate them, how to create a genetic bank, etc., etc. So Quranic Botanic Garden does a lot of that, and the Ministry of Municipality has the gene bank. This is what I know about plants. And my colleague, Dr. Renee Richard, just published a book on the plants of Qatar. Yesterday, I had another panel, which was her book opening, and they invited me and 3 more panelists to talk about the situation on nature in Qatar and how we can conserve it, preserve it, and make people empowered to go out and help.
Thank you so much.
And one of the things that I wanted to say, the last thing about plants, which is a very interesting aspect that Dr. Richard is covering in her book, and I never thought about it in terms of plants, is that she, with her colleagues on the book, her co-authors, discovered that the plants, the way they're named, are named because of the European equivalents. But in actuality, the individual plant species that we find here, some of them are distinctly different. So this is a decolonization of European thinking, even in plant taxonomy, and I appreciated that. Thank you again for your work.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Asper. Dr. Farhan?
Yeah, I mean, I cannot cope, of course. What Ihsan is doing is for a totally different dimension than what I am able to do, what I am doing. My name is Dr. Farhan Sakal. I am head of excavation and site management at the Qatar Museums Authority. And what I do for our environment is actually to quote Michael Jackson's song, I just started with the man on the mirror. So with me, with myself, what I can do in my possibilities just by myself, and then maybe inspire others around me, and then the circle can get bigger and bigger and bigger. I am coming from a very environmental conscious country, Germany, where several systems are already set up, and this as example, garbage separation and so on. This is already 20, 30 years old system in Germany. Coming to Qatar, I face completely different situation, of course, and I started to do things that I was not doing in Germany, for example, putting entire garbage in one bag and putting it in the garbage chute where I was not seeing it anymore. It was just from my apartment's door to the chute, and then it was disappearing. So to understand the problem more and more, I was encountered with, through my work, with the Doha Environmental Actions Project. And from the first meeting, I joined the group as volunteer, and since now this is almost 3 years, I am trying to join each cleanup. Of course, I cannot do every Friday or also during the week. Jose Saucedo, who's the director of the Doha Environmental Actions Project, is doing cleanup and educational activities and so on. So, but through my job, also I have a small contribution to the environment because I'm, of course, caring about the heritage sites of Qatar. And heritage sites of Qatar are off limit to any kind of development and anything altering their design and their original state. That means we are creating for each heritage site kind of a small ecosystem or a refuge for the local animals and local plants and so on. These are completely off limit for any kind of activities. And we are doing this continuously, more and more. There are sites that are included in our list, and hopefully by doing this, we will help the environment to have these small patches all around Qatar where the local animals and plants can still be found.
Okay. Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm Shreya Suraj. I call myself the founder of an art group called Anybody Can Draw. But before that, I'm a mother and a teacher. So as a mother, I always teach my kids how to be eco-friendly. I mean, even like a small thing like a notebook, every time it used to get over, the last few pages, we always land up throwing it in the dustbin. So even when I was small, I used to just tear those books and use those unused papers, even as a youngster. It's not something which I do now. Even as a youngster, I used to use those unused paper, bind them up, and use that for my revision. So, and that's what I practice even now with my kids. And that was part one. And then ever since I've come to Doha, Deep has been my group. Literally, I've done almost 200 cleanups with them. And it's like my family. Every time, every Friday, they just ask me, how do you land up? I was like, I don't know. Friday is for cleanups. And Corona came, and that was another big problem. We could not go for group cleanups because the numbers were limited. So I started doing solo cleanups. Every Friday morning, I'll be very nice to my family, especially to my husband. I'll be like, let's go for solo cleanups. So like that, I went for 30 solo cleanups. So, so something or the other I've been doing. And art and craft has always been my passion too. And off late, I see myself using lots of, I never liked buying notebooks or art books for doing artworks. So I used to do it as a part of my habit. But now I realize not all of them think like me. So I started doing workshops to tell them, like, see, art is there in everything. You don't need to buy important paints or notebooks, or you can just do it on anything. So I do it
Yeah,
on
Shreya,
stones.
sorry to interrupt, but you did a lovely workshop. How many workshops did you do yesterday on World Environment Day with Lulu? Did you go across Qatar?
Not exactly. I did one on Friday with the Tulukuta community. We were using recycled newspaper. And day before yesterday, we did it with Seashore Company organized a very beautiful workshop. And I'm lucky to be a part. We used the broken spoons. We broke it up more neatly and we made fridge magnets out of it. And the tissue paper rolls, we designed it as cats. And then whatever cardboard was there thrown in the Lulu dustbin and in Al Ronak dustbin, I actually went and I was like, can I take it? Even that I just didn't take it just because it was in the dustbin. And then I cut that. It was a very hard work, but then it was good fun because they made that into pen stands.
Wonderful.
And so like that, I've been using every single thing. So a seashell, I make it into an artwork. Paper cups, there are lots over here which we have made it into art
Yeah.
projects. Eggshell trays, we made it into flowers. Stones, glass bottles, every single thing. Now what I'm trying to do is when we go for cleanups, we get all those floating buoys. So that I'm trying to make artworks out of it. So
Wonderful.
keep thinking. Nowadays, I'm like thinking more and more. So my net result, my house is looking like a beach, literally dirty beach. So my husband literally asked me, "Will this ever get cleaned?" And I was like, "Maybe, but not today."
Okay, that's lovely. There's a guy who's been putting his hand up for some time now behind. Could you please introduce yourself?
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalam.
My name is Arshad. I'm a chemical engineer who graduated last year from Texas A&M. Me and Safir, we're both batchmates. We've been working on two projects, startups in the environment field. The first is to do with chemicals, cleaning chemicals. So a lot of these, when they go into the water, they cause eutrophication, algal bloom. So they actually affect the marine life. They also affect our health. So we have actually developed a line of like plant-based from coconut and the like cleaning chemicals. So they don't actually, when they go in the water, they biodegrade. So they don't contribute to algal bloom or eutrophication or don't have phosphates. So that's one thing that we've been doing. We started selling from March because we saw there's no, in Qatar, there are no products that are eco-friendly. A lot of them, if they're even eco-friendly, they're like 50, 60 riyals. We wanted to bring something that's affordable for everyone, all stratas of society. So that's one thing we've been working on, the chemical itself. The other thing we started working on a few months ago is, like the doctor mentioned, there's no waste segregation program here. And even in countries with segregation program, recycling is not the solution. It only solves 40 or 50% of the problem. So we actually created a refill station, and we're working to launch it around supermarkets, where you can bring your own bottle, plastic bottles, and refill detergents. So instead of just throwing the bottle away, it gets used 10, 15 times. So we already had a pilot study, so we've done that with Qatar Foundation, and we're trying to work to bring that to Almira. So even if you don't have waste segregation program, you can refill these bottles, save money and save plastic. So yes, this is something I've been working on, the chemicals as well as getting rid of the plastic. Today, detergents, and we're hoping to expand to even milk, oil, anything that comes in a bottle. And one day, even people can bring their own glass bottles, just remove plastic from the equation. Because plastic in bottles is something that's very difficult to remove by their own nature. So this is something that I've been working on.
Fantastic. I'd like to host you on my program at some point. And yeah,
Thank you.
wonderful.
Yeah, me and
Yeah, could you please repeat your names again, please?
Yeah, so my name is Safir, and his name is Arshad. So we both work partners on these two ventures.
Excellent. All the best. Yeah, this is really nice to know. We come to nearly the end of our program today. But before that, we have a lovely young girl here. Please, can you introduce yourself and what lovely work have you been doing?
Yeah. Hi. My name is Leila. I'm in grade 5, and I had to make a presentation for my French class, where we have to sell a product. So we had to make an advertisement for it by making a poster, and we had to make a model of our product. So I'm very passionate about the ocean, and I really like fish. So I made a poster about a fish pen, basically, where I made a fish pen. And like we had to put a price, an offer.
Can you catch that in the hand again, please?
Yeah, sure.
That's beautiful. That's nice.
So even like we had to make a slogan and everything. So it's in French.
Yeah, you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Theory can translate. No, not
Yeah.
really.
So it basically means with the fish pen, you can make an amazing presentation. In French, it's avec le stylo poisson, vous allez faire une belle présentation.
Okay. Thank you very much. That's lovely.
Thank you.
Excellent work. Yeah. And we have our community partner La Terre Luxury who have gifted the school Eco Club two wonderful games. They are eco games. They are well, the box says it all. So what? And it's going to be given to the two Eco Club members here for the Eco Club. Yeah. You can see the packaging is recycled. And that's the bag. Yeah. And that is for you. So you guys can play at the Eco Club. It's something like Monopoly, but only thinking fashion and recycled fashion. Yeah. And I believe we have a bouquet of flowers for the amazing eco artist Shreya by ISL Qatar, the school. Shreya, would you like to please come here quickly and take the flowers?
Shiri has been helping us throughout the year with the activities in the Eco Club, and it's been amazing, all the recycling workshops, beach cleanups, and it's been wonderful. As a visual art teacher myself, it has been wonderful working with her, and I'd like to just say thank you very much for all your hard work.
Thank you so much. Thank you for all your help. I'm so embarrassed. Yeah, but then actually I should praise Bosco for this. Without Bosco, without him hosting this, I would have never met Christina. So literally, Bosco, we need to support him more. More he does, God bless him. No, he's saying it's okay. It's not okay because of him only I know Christina and I'm able to actually dedicate myself because this is something which I've always liked. You know, liking something and doing it practically, it has given me a platform. And that's really important to me. So thank you, ISL. Thank you, Christina. Thank you to these lovely girls over here who helped me a lot. And a big, big, big thank you to Geraldine and Bosco, who keep calling me for all their events. And I also land up. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Shreya. We have come to the end of the program, and we'd like to get a group picture, not just of the panelists, or maybe just the panelists and the guests first, and then the whole group. Thank you so much. I hope you take away something positive from here. Reduce your plastic and think about the environment. Yeah, always, every day, not just on World Environment Day. Just a minute, yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for coming to ISL Qatar, and I hope you enjoyed this event. There is some tea and coffee and some biscuits, and if anybody would like to share some ideas, suggestions, we really would like to hear from you. We really want to make connections with the local community, international as much as possible, and so it was really nice to have you here. Thank you very much.
And just one last thing, we launched, Big B Meetup launched our own reusable bags, and I don't have many left. In fact, this is just the last one. And I'm so sorry, Dr. Theory and everybody else here, but I'd like to give this to the scientist out here, and I'm sure she's going to use it really well with all the wilderness books. So this is to Dr. Aspa. I didn't dare try to pronounce your family name. Could you please?
Aspa Hadzif, Thimeo. And I appreciate this gift very much.
Yeah, that's for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And Ghanem, any closing notes from you? Yeah? Did you enjoy yourself? Yeah. Well, no, we'd like to, because as I said, I'm in awe of you and not totally finished with you ever. Because you keep upping your game.
No, thank you so much, guys, for everything you shared here. As I said, I'm honored and always happy to support as much as we can. So let me know if we can do something for the community and how we can engage a little bit more and help to, get more people to know about these initiatives. So thank you guys again, and hope to see you soon. Yeah.
And I thank you all for coming in here, especially the fantastic French artist, sound artist, and even Elizabeth Shoes, that's how I call her, the Dutch woman, and my life coach out there in the back. Yeah. Please, could you come in for a group picture? This is one family. Yeah, Dr. Sean, and even Claudia. Yeah.